Summer day in Toronto, barbecue is the #1 thing to do outside. I have a tomahawk steak. Look at the thickness and look at this marble, all the fats. And also what I did, I trim a little bit less fat because I wanted the fat actually cook very slowly. I'm going to use a little bit tallow, the fat coming from that. So I trimmed it, I make some tallow, then it's going on this very hot plate. I'm just going to rub it. This is tallow fat. You know, I was trimming some fat earlier. You know, beef fat, it holds the heat very well. So, and also give a very nice flavor. So after I put the fat on, now the salt is going to stick very well. I'm going to hit the pepper a little bit later. Well guys, you know, before I put it on the grill, I just want to mention that it's such an honor to be FIFA World Cup hospitality captain. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about it now.
So like my dad said, he's officially a FIFA World Cup hospitality captain for Toronto.
Right here, Toronto World Cup, very exciting.
And as a chef, hospitality obviously is so important to you, right?
You know, you have tourists coming to our city and we host them. Hospitality, service, food, and through my food, I'm telling the story, what's going on in our city.
Exactly, so FIFA World Cup 26 with On Location is not about just a seat at the game.
They offer ticket inclusive hospitality packages, so you can get a full elevated match day experience.
So if you're planning to visit Toronto and want to do it properly for the World Cup, check out the official FIFA World Cup 26 ticket inclusive hospitality packages.
Through On Location.
The link to check out the packages is on the screen and in the description.
Very excited to be involved to represent Toronto for World Cup FIFA.
Let's go back to the steak.
All right, let's go back to the steak. Goes in. Let it sear slowly. You know, now we're looking for color. You know, if you ask me, you know, how long it's going to be, it's very hard to judge. Cooking is all about judging. So you kind of move the bones a little bit. I'm just searing it one side. Now I'm going to flip it on the other side. Let me check. Oh, this, look at that. Now I'm searing the side. I love cooking tomahawk steak. You know, I think this is great for summer, lots of friends. But my spin, I'm going to show you my heritage. Give a little bit smokiness and also the fragrance from the tea. I don't really want to over searing because, you know, a little bit crispness is great because ultimately you want tenderness. Second step, just going to sear it very slow.
Why do you cook it there and then there?
Well, because I wanted to sear the caramelize the meat so you have a little bit of that very meaty flavor. And now it's slow cooking. So I'm going to turn down the barbecue. Ideally, I want to be 300. 300 is at Fahrenheit. And that is what I'm looking for, and making sure that it's slowly cooked. And then after that, we're gonna come back and just really dive in and check it out. Always checking, it's always about timing. We're gonna take a little peek. Let me check the temperature. It's just perfectly cooked right now. Eating such a big steak, you need some really nice side order. What I have here, I have some beans has been soaked in water. I love this because they are sumptuous and at the same time, they are moist. And so I'm going to cook it braising, very slow braising. I have a stone pot here. I'm going to start with olive oil. Clove of garlic, carrots, celery. Now you notice I didn't put any onions. Why? Because I got some leeks. I want the leeks smaller because it tastes very nice. Leeks goes down and then beans goes down. First time, European style bay leaf, stock, tomato paste. I like white pepper because the fragrance is really nice with the beans. A little bit of salt. I'm letting the beans like slowly cook until it gets a flavor absorbed inside. It will take probably about an hour. Slow cook. Any braised bean gotta be slow. Yeah, this is exactly what I'm looking for. Caramelization, the fat is bubbling, and also the edge creates a little bit crisp. Second rack, to let it kind of slower cook. Continue, let it sit. It's always been good thing takes time. Something, steak, when it's that big, you need to be slow. It's like a prime rib. You can't rush it. It will be a good reason when you're gonna taste it. Baked beans goes into the oven. So they all cook together. Very happy, all stay together. Now I'm going to make some very typical Italian crispy breadcrumb. Olive oil goes down.
What is this invention?
This is the best. A little few holes, you know, you don't need to take the bottle. I think this is the best thing I ever done. Pan heat up. Garlic, stir, stir, stir. Make sure before they go brown, breadcrumbs goes in. I want to toast it. I want to bake it instead of like cooking on the stove. I can smell that garlic. Really nice smell. Little black pepper, little bit of salt. I have some fresh thyme. Mince it very fine. I want the breadcrumb very herbaceous on this. It goes right into the breadcrumbs. Tomato paste. Mush it very well. Stir, stir, stir. It smells like a garden. It's really nice. The black pepper really comes through. Goes right on the top. I'm taking the lid out so the meat juice is gonna drip right into the beans. Everything is here. Everything is cooking slowly, and don't touch it and just wait. This tomahawk really need a very nice sauce to go with. With the smokiness, you need a very, very strong sauce. What I mean strong is high flavors. Heat up the pan. I use butter. Oh, it's too hot. I toast the black pepper. Shallots goes down. Curry leaf. You know, the taste of curry leaf is a fragrance between a black pepper and also a basil. I got some Chinese baijiu. Watch out, it's going to flame. Beef stock. I have some homemade chili sauce. Suckling pig sauce. So just let it slow cook. Color of these sauces, you can tell it has a lot of complexity. We're going to have cream. This is really my fusion black pepper sauce between the French and Southeast Asian. And that's where we really brings everything together with the flavors. Reduce a little bit. You see, look at this velvet. Now I have mustard and also butter. The reason why I put mustard and butter finish last, because you cannot cook too long, otherwise the mustard will turn very bitter. Only a last minute, just to finish with the sauce, stir, 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 and this is done. It's so perfect. Now I'm preparing some ingredient for tea smoking. So I have rice. Now if you notice, this rice is cooked because I do need the moisture. I have some sugar cane. I got some tea. I have chosen red tea. Mix it in, stir, 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 mix it very well. So first, you gotta making sure our foil is nice and flat, touching the pot, because that's where you're going to create the heat. Sugar is going to create heat and caramelization, and that's what we are looking for. Putting a screen in between, putting right on top of the stove. My breadcrumb is just, you can hear the crispiness. And this is exactly what I'm looking for. Keep it on the side, and this is going to get ready for smoking. Now, you know, the bean is still cooking very soft. We keep it warm. I'm putting the steak on. I'm going to cover it up. It's timing to wait how the smoke is going to rise, and also giving the flavor from the tea. Now, leave it there slowly, and the smoke will come very fast.
How long do we smoke it?
I would say maybe 5-6 minutes. I want it to be a very light smoke, ready to go. That's the smoking while I'm talking. Keep it there. I can smell the tea. I can smell the caramelization and also the moisture from the rice. I'm going to just turn it off and let it sit and let it rest. Any kind of thick meat you need to rest in order to get the tenderness. The juice actually capture inside. So when you taste it, it's very tender. The baked beans is just perfectly cooked. Melt it on top. Cheddar cheese, melted cheddar cheese. Italian breadcrumbs. Give a little texture, soft and crispiness. Chopped parsley.
All right, we're gonna try this now. It looks amazing.
Yeah. Where's the other fork?
Oh, two forks. Cheers.
Cheers. The whole thing is very tender. Even the searing, I just get enough the searing so it doesn't get too hard.
I feel like I've never
Sure.
had like such a big steak with Asian flavors. So I'm like, it's cool for me to try that. I think the sauce is my favorite part, to be honest.
The beefiness, I didn't find it beefy enough. You know, I wish it has a little bit more beefiness. And I mean, the tenderness is very good. And I'm not going to not enjoying it, but I wish it has a little bit stronger beef taste. Wow, you really like very manly the way you do this.
All right, now we're gonna try the beans.
It's like a bean gratin. So we're gonna just put it right on the board, son. Yeah.
This is kind of Italian, obviously, no?
Yeah. It is. I do like Italian food, I have to say. You know, this is a good compliment. What do you think about the beans, son? You like the breadcrumbs on the top, just absorbing all the flavor on the top?
Yeah, I feel like it gives, like potatoes kind of less flavorful. This is more flavorful. And I really like you can taste the tomato paste in the breadcrumbs.
Tomato is a fruit. You know, give that acidity. It's quite nice. I like the little bite of the Italian breadcrumbs.
Me too.
Like it, subscribe, check it out, method, how to cook it. Don't follow it if you don't like it.